Hey y'all, how you doing?
Great.
So thank y'all for joining me today. And my name is Jimmy Patronis. I'm the state's CFO, but I also get to be the state fire marshal of the state. And I want to give a special thanks to St. Johns County, especially this gorgeous fire station, and to the county commissioners who pulled this thing off. This is really just a world-class facility. We got a few special guests I want to give acknowledgement to. St. Johns County Fire Chief Sean McGee, Florida Professional Firefighters President Bernie Bernosca, Mayor St. Augustine Beach Dylan Rummel, St. Johns County Sheriff Director Tara Wilds, St. Johns County Senior Vice President of Economic Development Scott Maynard. We've got County Commissioner Martha Gleason, County Commissioner Roy Alamo, County Commissioner Krista Joseph, and County Commissioner Christian Whitehurst. Y'all please give them a round of applause. Thank you. And a special thanks to all of our first responders that are here today. This is truly the reason why we're assembled, and want to tell you how we need to recognize the hard work of these first responders. Over the last 7 years, I've had this job, and it's been an honor of a lifetime. I tell people all the time that we don't have this incredible economy in the state of Florida. You don't have 1,200 people a day moving here. You don't have the businesses relocating, the new businesses starting, unless you have this safety net that works in the background 24/7, 365 to keep us safe. People just will not make the investment. They won't move unless it's safe. But it's a team effort, and everybody here in the room contributes to that element that we've got here in Florida. But as I said, we've got about 1,200 people a day moving to the state of Florida, and they're bringing their retirement checks, they're bringing their businesses, they're bringing their wealth, and it's a testament to good leadership. But our first responders are the ones that are working 24/7, 365. They miss birthdays, they miss anniversaries, they miss those special occasions because they're the ones answering the call whenever somebody calls for help and dials 911. Sadly, cancer is a related effect that goes along with this noble profession. Firefighters have a 9% risk of being diagnosed with cancer, higher than anybody else that's not in the fire service, and a 14% higher risk of dying from cancer than the average American. As your state fire marshal, I'll tell you that these brave men and women will not fight this fight with cancer alone. Today we have got a story that I'm very honored to all get to share together with you, as we're going to bring up Lieutenant Justin Daly here in a minute. Justin's going to come up and give his testimony and share with him the impacts of what cancer has done to him and where we're going to take it to ensure that cases like Justin continue to get the support they need. Justin? Thanks, buddy.
Hi, my name is Justin Daly. I have brain cancer, so if I get emotional, it's cancer, not me. We can joke. First, I have to thank God. This has given me a deeper relationship with Him, and ultimately a peace that just, for me, doesn't make sense at this moment. My wife, who's the foundation of our family, she's quite literally saved my life. My daughter and my son, they give me the strength to persist, even when it's painful and uncomfortable. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has why to live can bear almost any how." Those three are my why. My 17 family, who didn't blink an eye to help and put my kids and my family first before them: Jeff, Chris, Mikey, Cav, Henry, Howie, Dave, Brian, and Grady. Naf, you came for coffee, but your ultimate motive was for me to fix my red folder. That had to have been extremely uncomfortable for you, but I'll never forget it. The brothers and sisters of the fire rescue, the group that carried my burden for the first 2 months after my diagnosis and treatment, you sacrificed time away from your family to provide security for mine. To all the people who took time to drive me to Mayo for radiation for 6 weeks because I couldn't because of seizures, I'm grateful for you, your time, and your conversations. Fire Rescue and County Administration for your continued support to allow me to focus on my healing. Chance Craven from Honor Supply and the Yard Foundation that raised funds for myself and my family. It is more than just a photo. Quickly, my story is I got diagnosed with a grade 2 astrocytoma. I was having near syncopal episodes about a week or two before I sought medical attention. Within 24 hours, they diagnosed me with the cancer. And that evening, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I jolted asleep with a full-on anxiety attack and tears. My wife was sleeping on the couch, wasn't worried about me. I was worried about her security, my children's security. And then quickly, I did a quick Google search, and a sense of relief came over me. There was a life preserver. It was a cancer presumptive bill that these gentlemen worked so hard for. And so you're looking at the humanity to that. So thank you. And it's because of Mr. Patronis and the supporters that I was able to provide that security in an uncertain time. Again, Mr. Patronis, thank you for your continued support. You realize there's still work to do and have followed through with the funding and prevention programs that provide us with the decontamination systems that could prevent others from walking the path I'm walking right now. I'd like to read a poem from Archibald MacLeish, who served in World War I. Nevertheless, they are heard in still houses. Who has not heard them? They have a silence that speaks for them at night, and when the clock counts, they say we were young. We have died. Remember us. They say we have done what could be done. Until it is finished, it is not done. They say we have given our lives, but it is finished. No one can know what our lives gave. They say our deaths are not ours, they are yours. They mean what you make them. They say whatever our lives and our deaths were for peace, a new hope, nothing we cannot say. It is you who must say this. They say we leave you our deaths. Give them their meaning. We were young, they say. We have died. Remember us. Mr. Patronis, is through your steadfast support of the first responders of Florida, from the cancer presumptive bill to the funding aimed at prevention, that is providing meaning to those that have fallen from this unfortunate disease. FDR said, the best prize that life has to offer is a chance to work at worth doing. Mr. Patronis, thank you for working so hard. I promise you this work is worth doing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That's not easy. It's crazy. I've gotten to travel to a lot of fire stations. It's kind of hard for me not to get emotional when I consider now we've got looming off in the Gulf of Mexico a storm that's going to affect the state of Florida, and knowing that these guys, they're going to be concerned about their families. And in the case of Justin, he's got a little bit more to be concerned about. Thank you for your sacrifice. Another story that we're asking also share is how the cancer that affects a firefighter also affects the loved ones. Dylan is here with us today, and he's a dear friend. We've gotten to become big fans of each other over the last several months. And he lost an uncle that was a firefighter in Hillsborough County to cancer that was only 36 years old. I'd ask the mayor to come up and give a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. First, I want to thank CFO Jimmy Patronis for his efforts in supporting firefighters across Florida with vital equipment and funding, especially in the fight against cancer and within the firefighter community. Uncle Tim, who passed away at the age of 36 back in 1997, was truly a remarkable man. His career as a firefighter reflected his commitment to helping others and serving the community. Rising to the rank of captain at the Hillsborough County Fire Department, he demonstrated leadership and bravery inspired by all. Thank you. He was a fire service instructor at Hillsborough Community College, the Leary Technical Center in Tampa, and for the Florida Fire College in Ocala. Tim dedicated himself to training the next generation of firefighters, showing his showcase and passion for the profession. Beyond his professional life, Uncle Tim was a devoted family man. He was incredibly proud of his daughter, Aaliyah, and son, James, my cousins, always finding ways to support them and creating lasting memory for two very young children. His zest for life extended to being a triathlete, pushing his physical limits and encouraging his children to embrace their own passions. Losing him when I was 20 years old was undoubtedly difficult, but his legacy lives on, and the love he values is instilled in the Rumrell family. He taught us the importance of hard work and adventure, serving the source of strength and inspiration that I carry to this day. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you for sharing. So in 2020, we created the Firefighter Decontamination Grant Program because of stories just like this from all over the state. We did some partnership with the University of Miami, Sylvester Cancer Institute. We took in input from our Florida professional firefighters and started cobbling together the case to be able to get resources from the legislature to supply our local firehouses to purchase the tools, just like what you see behind me here, that helps clean technology to be leveraged to ensure that the cancer-causing carcinogens are as minimized as possible. These are the tools that save the firefighters' battle against cancer. We've made it our mission in Tallahassee to ensure that our first responders get the gear that they need in order to protect themselves. Since 2020, this program has awarded more than $2.4 million in decontamination grants to 197 fire stations statewide. Today, I'm incredibly proud to announce that Florida is increasing our commitment to the Firefighter Cancer Decontamination Grant Program by requesting double the amount of funding, going from $500,000 to $1 million for this next legislative session. The success that this program has shown has been very popular, and as we have more funding, and I told you I was the state fire marshal, but I'm also the CFO. We've got the money to ensure that more firefighters can ensure they're around for their families and their communities. So you can see some of this equipment. I'm not exactly sure what it all does. Just because I look official doesn't mean I'm the operator of this equipment, but I'm sure for those that are here from the media, we'll get one of the folks here to explain what we're looking at. Or I may actually just go ahead and do what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to invite Bernie up to speak next. So for those of y'all that have not met, Bernie Bernosca is president of the Florida Professional Firefighters. He is a brother to me. There's been some incredible accomplishments that we have been able to see statewide. We've realized statewide because of our partnership that we've got with the state of Florida legislators and the Florida professional firefighters. And so many of these have been collaborated together with the chiefs, the county commissions, the local governments, and this has been all in the right way for the right reasons for these brave men and women. So remember, I'm gonna ask you to please give a round of, Bernie's very shy. He wears a suit to have more credibility. So we have a little running joke. You know, whenever I show up, I'm always in a suit, and I'm not here in a suit today. And Bernie showed up in a suit because he felt like he was going to need to be suited because I was suited. So anyway, Bernie, thank you for everything you've done for this profession and your sacrifice to the state.
Well, as usual, this happens every time. I have written remarks, but the way the CFO presents it and how much passion and love I hear today, I'm throwing them out, and I'm just going to go from the heart because that's really where it's at. So, Chief, thank you for that. As he stated, my name is Wayne Bernosca. I go by Bernie. I have the distinct honor and privilege of serving as president for the Florida Professional Firefighters, representing over 28,000 members of paid professional firefighters and paramedics around our state. This is certainly a subject that's worthy of bringing a lot of attention to. Cancer is known as the silent killer of firefighters. And in fact, it's the #1 killer of firefighters in the U.S. and Canada. Over the last 5 years that I've been in office, I've had the opportunity to work with our state fire marshal and CFO on this issue. And before we were able to get the legislation to cover cancer victims and survivors, we were running into some trouble at the legislature. We were having problems. It took us 16 years to pass the bill. And while we were trying to do that, we partnered with the CFO, and he said, hey man, the way we're gonna eradicate cancer is we're gonna get rid of it in the first place. And you do that through decontamination efforts like we're seeing here today, and through grants like we're pushing here today. So I just wanna really say at the end of the day, I have so much respect for this man and our profession. I'm proud to represent them. but I'm even prouder to call him a brother. He's a personal friend, but he's a friend to the fire service like no other. Now, he hates when I do this, but I'm going to tell you a quick story. He often will put capes on us and call us heroes. But I call Jimmy Patronis a hero because we need men like him in Tallahassee, leaders like him in Tallahassee, fighting for what we're doing here today, for the money for grants, for decontamination safety grants, and for actually, as we move into the future, looking at gear that's free of cancer-causing agents. So, Jimmy, you know I love you, you know we love you, and thank you for everything you do for the state of Florida.
Don't tell me that. So I would like to invite up Chief Sean McGee now up to say a few words. Chief.
Good afternoon. On behalf of St. Johns County Board of County Commissioners, County Administration, and St. Johns County Fire Rescue, I'd like to express my appreciation to the state of Florida and the state Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Patronis, for the unwavering support he has shown to our firefighters and first responders here locally and throughout the state. As we stand here today, surrounded by fire service and government leaders from around the state and region, I'm honored to be part of the continued mission of protecting the men and women of the fire service from exposure to harmful substances in the line of duty. The station we're standing in here today represents a positive direction for the fire service in building, designing, and equipping facilities with the technology needed to combat and limit these dangerous exposures to our firefighters. Funding provided through this critical decontamination grant program is a vital component of our ability at the local level to keep enhancing and improving the equipment needed to keep our firefighters safe. On behalf of St. Johns County and the entire fire service community, I would like to say thank you, CFO Patronis, for your advocacy, support, and leadership with regards to protecting our first responders. Thank you.
So this concludes today's ceremony. I'd be remiss if I still didn't talk about what's bearing down in the upcoming days. I've never seen so much hype around a storm as I have seen with this storm. Even before it was even a declared tropical depression, the governor's already issued an emergency declaration out of just the fear of what this storm could be. My home is Panama City, and I was texting with Jim Cantori, the weather station, the other day, and I said, "Is this coming to Panama City?" He says, "Pack up, I'll see you soon." And that's not what I wanted to hear. But as we're starting to mobilize resources for the state, just know that these men and women are going to be standing ready. They're going to be prepared. And please just heed the warnings from your local emergency management directors. The media is going to be pushing out, and people don't realize how important the media is in this relationship in getting out the trusted guidance to our citizens and our communities. The storm is going to be a very fast-moving storm. What I definitely have concerns is along those coastal areas at the exact same path where you look where Idalia went, where Debbie went. We're seeing some similarities now with Helene. A large storm over 200 miles wide. It's going to have bands that are going to extend farther into the state of Florida than we've seen in a long time. So as this storm quickly develops and Thursday draws close, we're going to see a lot of effects Wednesday night dealing with this storm. But now is the critical time that you take those necessary steps for preparation. And I tell people, as I'm going to put my insurance hat on for a minute, I tell people we're a smartphone society nowadays. And I tell folks, take that smartphone and walk outside your house and film your house. Film the inside, the outside, just talk to yourself. Point out that there's no trees leaning against your house. Go inside your house, do the exact same thing all over again. Take a picture of your floor coverings, your wall coverings, your wardrobe, because now what's going to happen is you have a documented file, a video, and I want you to take that and email it to yourself. Put it in a virtual place. As it is in that virtual place, heaven forbid that storm hits, what's going to happen? You're going to start an insurance claim. What's the insurance carrier going to do? They're going to send an adjuster to your home, and that adjuster, just go and call him. It's an investigator. What did this house look like before the storm? Now you've got photographic video evidence showing this is what my house looked like on this day, and you can show very black and white, very contrasting what the house looks like before the storm, and now the damage that is experienced is what are going to be the obligations of your insurance carrier. One of the quickest ways in order to help speed up that claims process. In addition, with that claim, you're going to have to make an inventory of what you lost. Your house may be, God forbid, what if it's a total loss? What if you come back to your home and it's nothing more than a slab, okay? Now you've got video evidence, you've got a video inventory of what that claim needs to have in it so you can be made whole. No two storms are the same. We learn something from every storm, but we can just ask is heed those warnings, make sure you err on the side of caution, take a few steps now in order to help facilitate a fast recovery if you do have any damage. Visit preparefl.com to set up your own disaster plan, but more importantly, just heed the warnings of your local officials and make sure that these guys really don't have to be out in harm's way because of your own stubbornness or reluctance to relocate to a safe place. I'd be happy to answer any questions we got during the storm. Yes, sir.
CFO, some experts are saying this storm looks a lot like Hurricane Michael. Is there anything you took away from the experience that's informing how we're approaching this storm?
So Hurricane Michael, where the similarities are between this storm and Michael, Michael was a very fast storm. So a very fast storm. In the case with Hurricane Michael, it was not as much of a storm surge event as it was just a windstorm event. Horrific winds, you know, just debris everywhere. Where you have a case of a Hurricane Michael with a storm that has intense winds, that means you're going to have more broken trees, more down power lines. It's going to be just a different type of recovery. What was similar between when you had Hurricane Idalia, if I don't wish it on anybody, but if we're going to get this storm, if it follows the path of Idalia and the path of Danny, when Idalia hit, debris was everywhere, okay? Now Danny hits, the debris wasn't as intense, simply because Idalia had pruned all the trees the year before. So if you're going to have another storm that's going to hit the state of Florida, that's the pathway where it's probably going to have the quickest recovery for the state, the smallest loss of financial impact. You don't wish it on anybody, but again, because the storm is moving fast, more winds, less storm surge. But we're very concerned. Here's another side effect that these men have to deal with. Not as much as what's happening here in St. Johns County, but if you're on the coastal areas, especially in Tampa Bay, this is what's got me concerned, is the investment and growth of lithium-ion battery products, whether it be scooters, e-bikes, or EVs. Those have got to be away from any storm surge areas. And unfortunately, we saw with Hurricane Ian, we had about 19 EVs that caught fire from no other reason but saltwater storm surge. So, you know, we have made a plea out to the EV manufacturers. We're a connected society. EVs are connected to their owners via smart apps. We saw it during Idalia. There was push notifications that the EV sent out saying, this is what we think you should do in order to make sure your EV is in a safe place. We anticipate the EV manufacturers are going to do that again. So pay attention to your smart device, to the push notification that you might get as advice of how to keep you, your family, and your investment safe.
One other question.
Yes, sir.
What teams and resources do you have on standby, search, rescue, and deploy?
So our urban search and rescue teams are mobilizing as we speak. Typically, we would pre-stage at the Orange County Convention Center. There is an event taking place in Orange County Convention Center right now. So right now we are mobilizing in Central Florida. We'll probably have some resources set up at the State Fire College. But one of the concerns we've got is, again, determining exactly where the storm's going to go. So and with a storm that's this large, those resources sometimes, you know, will need to wait till hurricane force winds subside. The one thing I'll tell you about these men and women is they really enjoy going into harm's way. It's something genetic about them that they throw safety to the side sometimes when they know that somebody else's life is at risk. So, you know, as much as I would like to say these men and women will be hunkered down somewhere safe while the storm is taking place, knowing these men and women, they're going to be out in the field saving lives because that's what they love to do. Anybody else? Okay, thank you so much. Please just visit preparefl.com and set up your own disaster plan. Thank y'all so much.
Thanks, guys.